Hello. Today I am going to show you how to use MSP ALGO Indicators to trade. Okay? So we have many indicators. We have what we call the Advanced Warning .algo max 3, Advanced Warning Breakout or Breakdown algo, the long or short algo, pivot points, price action divergence, or some of the indicators that we have. But before I actually go into that, what I want to do is a quick overview of what we discussed as far as trading is concerned. We use what we call support and resistance. We have a resistance zone here and a support zone. We also discussed in a previous video how to create Fibonacci retracement to use that as support and resistance, and discussed what pivot points are and how to use them. So before you can understand how the indicators work, you need to know those basics. So you may want to quickly review those webinars before reviewing this. Okay, so we know that we need to find out the support and resistance levels that the traders are using in order to trade. It doesn't matter what you use. You could draw lines, or you could use the Fibonacci extensions. Okay, so let's look at our first. So the first thing we're going to say is we know that this is a peak high here, and this is the low. So this is support and that is resistance. When trading, your higher probability trades will come near the main support and resistance levels. Obviously, there's support and other support and resistance levels within the support. I'm sure we could find more. There's one support there, here as well. But in order to successfully trade, you want to focus on the main support and resistance levels. Okay? So I'm going to talk about what .algo max 3 is, and then we'll see how to use it. So .algo max 3 is an indicator that has 3 dots that appear on a chart. A red dot detects selling pressure. A yellow dot is a spike. It could be buying or selling. And a green dot detects buying pressure. So let's discuss how to trade it. I'm going to turn it on. And we can see that we have dots on the chart. Let me blow this up a little bit. So we know our major support and resistance levels. We know that this is resistance and this is support. Okay, so we can see a red dot that detects selling pressure within our resistance zone, and we can see a green dot near our support level. Within the range, we can see signals as well, which can be used, but for higher probability trades, it is always best to trade using the main support and resistance levels, depending on your time frame. In this scenario, the time frame is 1 day. So this is a daily, and we know that support and resistance levels are different on each time frame. So that means the signals will be different on each time frame. The higher the time frame, the bigger the move. The lower the time frame, the smaller the move. Okay? So we can see prices moving up here. It's in a trend. It bounced off support and went to resistance. Sometimes just looking at a chart, it's difficult to tell if there is actually selling pressure or buying pressure. So that's where these indicators come in. In the past, I used RSI, MACD, and all of those indicators, but they're lagging indicators. So by the time I got my signal, another move was about to happen. If price was pulling back, it would alert me to go long right before price would reverse. Okay? So I had to figure out a way to overcome that obstacle. So I wanted to have leading indicators and not lagging indicators. So as we could see, this is a top here. And we know that a green candle does not mean long, and a red candle does not mean short. As this price is going up, we see red and green candles, and price continued to go up. So when is price going to actually pull back is the question if you wanted to short this stock. So we're going to go here and hide the rest of that price action. And look at this, and we can see a couple of things. One, we see selling pressure. Price was at 93.52, and it pulled back to 92.44. It has a wick, a sign of selling pressure. It looks like a good short opportunity. But is it really? That is the dilemma traders face. So let's say I short this. As time go on, I noticed that buyers came in because the candle turned green, and we have a higher high. So now if I'm short, there's a dilemma here. So now I need to figure out what I'm going to do as a trader. So we'll go on and look at some more candles. Okay, looks good. It looks like a short opportunity to me. And I think most traders, it looks like we have a resistance level at that 93.42, which would probably be a good short opportunity. Most likely back to support, right? So that's what this trader thought, and they took that trade. Let's see what happens. Price kept going up. So now the trader's on the wrong side of the trade. Let's remove this. And continue along and see what the indicator says. So we know that red detected selling pressure, and we know that green detect buying pressure, and we know that yellow detect spikes, whether it's a spike in selling pressure or buying pressure. This yellow spike here is near support. This green dot is near support. This red dot is near resistance. So we have a good idea that price is actually may pull back. Okay? So we see we did get some pullback there. Got a yellow dot, we got a spike. And went back up to resistance. So the difference between this move is it really did not pull back. It kind of just ranged in a box. Okay? So there's probably a little selling pressure here or profit taking, but it really just ranged because we could see that all that did was range. But if we take the same box and go up here, where this top is at, we could see it actually did pull out of that range. So here it went from 96 to 90.7, and here it just chopped. So it's just a guide to assist you with your trading, so you know that it's actually selling and not probably just a consolidation before the next leg up. So we know that this is really, after the fact, a bull flag, right? Containing green and red candles. All right, so now you were short and another dot came, and that said a spike, right? So we see price going up. So this warned us that we may want to exit that short that we took if you didn't just get out near support. Okay, so what I want to do is draw some Fibonacci extensions on here so we could get a better view of the support and resistance levels. So we can see that price met support. That's why you want to have your support and resistance levels drawn on your chart so you'll know, okay? And we can see here that price just met a little resistance here. Pulled back a little bit and was a breakout. So when you're trading, you want to try to have your target as first support if you're short. And when you're going long, you want to have your target as first resistance. I see so many traders talking about this trader don't know any better, and they're thinking about 85. You can't think about 85. You need to think about where's next support. It can't get to 85 if it can't break 92, right? Okay, so anyway, that's we're going to use these in conjunction with each other, but that's just one of the indicators, so we'll go in and leave that there. The next indicator we have is what we call the breakout or breakdown algo. So what is that? The breakout or breakdown algo has a green flag that appears on a chart indicating that price must break out or break down, and normally it's a huge move and price action is fast and furious. So let's take some of this stuff off the chart right here. Let me do this. So we're going to take some of this off so we could see. Since we have our fibs drawn. Use either or, not both, for support or resistance. You don't want to clutter your chart too much. Okay, so we could clearly see our support and resistance levels. Okay, so we're going to hide the dot algo max 3 for now and focus on the breakout or breakdown flags there. These flags right here. So what are they saying? What it says is that price is near a major level and price must break out or break down once it get to that level. Okay? So when does it have to break down? Now. It needs to break out or break down now. So that next candle, in this case, this is from the pullback. So now we got an uptrend here. So now we got some candles. And we have our flags. So this is saying that if price go higher than that flag, it's a breakout. If it cannot, it has to pull back. So price has to break out or pull back. to support. It could be this support, that support. So it's telling you about a major area of resistance. Okay? So we could see that price constantly was breaking out. This is a breakout. Breakout, it went above the flag. Breakout. Kind of stuttered there. Couldn't quite get above. And here it pulled back. Okay? So that's another indicator that we have. And we use these in conjunction with each other. But right now, I'm going to show you each indicator, and then we'll go on and put them all on here. Okay, the next one is this short long signal algo, and what it does is it basically is looking at the difference between a buying and selling pressure based on an algo. Okay, so it's like early warning that tell you that price may reverse. So as we can see, it has a red line shade and a green shade, and within it is yellow. So the red means selling pressure, green means buying pressure. Okay? So if you could see here, this is starting to change at the top. And price was bullish, but it went to bearish. So it's another way to tell that price action may change. In a trend, it pretty much just has the green over the red in an uptrend. And in a downtrend, it has the red over the green. Okay, so now we have what we call price action divergence here at the bottom. And what it does is it tells you about any divergences or momentum. A divergence is when prices, the candle is going up, but this indicator is going down. So it's really like a momentum. A way to tell the momentum for a move. So if price is going to pop, you want to see the momentum going up. If price is pulling back, it should start to pull down. The range is -0 to 1.0. All right, so let's go on, and so the next algo we have is this one. And basically what this one does, I'll blow it up a little bit. We have arrows that come out, and it's telling you there's a little selling pressure, and this is telling you there's a little buying pressure. We also have these lines here that flip-flop. When it detects selling pressure, it will put the red over the green, and when it detects buying pressure, the green over the red. So if I hide the candles, we could see price was going up, a little selling pressure, a little buying pressure, selling pressure, buying pressure. So you could actually trade without candles. Okay? I'm not recommending it, I'm just communicating. So how would you use it? Because I see a lot of signals here. That's why you need to know where support and resistance is. Okay, so we know the green means up and the red means down. So this is a daily. So on this day, it's saying price was going to go down. On this day, it's saying price was going to go up. On this day, it looked like price opened at a high and started going down. So how do you trade it if you're in a trade and you went long at the bottom and you want to write your trade, right? That's where support and resistance come in. So you took a trade, went long, and you're trying to write your trade to whatever target you was hoping your price go. You was hoping at least to get to the 50% retracement near 88 from 80. That's a pretty good trade. But all of a sudden, there go that red arrow. So what do? As long as price don't break support, you're just fine. So here's support. Price did not break support. It pulled back, it held. So here again, price did not break support. So you don't need to worry about exiting your position. You could write your trade. It's just extra sensitive, just warning the trader or investor that you may want to watch your position. So in time, it ends up hitting your target, right? And you never had to exit your position. Okay? Because it never broke support. All right. So you don't need to use all of these indicators at once. I normally turn off certain indicators and turn them on based on what I'm trying to accomplish, okay? So I'm going to turn off some. And what I like to use when I'm trading is my pivot points. So we could see we got our lime green pivot point and our gold pivot point, which was discussed on how to use pivot points earlier. If you're not familiar with pivot points, you may want to look at that video. Okay, and then I like to use my .algo max and my breakout or breakdown indicators is what I primarily use. If I'm not getting a sufficient amount of signals, then I'll turn on my other indicator. But I don't like too much noise on my charts, believe it or not. So we could see price pull back here. We know where support's at. And we know that the best trades are taken near major support and resistance levels. We know that pivot points are major turning points. It could be a major turning point for a breakout or a reversal. So not necessarily a turning point. It's significant what happens to price near these pivot points. So as I'm trading, I notice that there's buyers, okay, because we had a pivot back in the days near 82.25. So I got out of my position, took some profits. I want to get back into this trade. So I see there's some buying pressure. So normally what I'll do is hope that price go back to support. But in this scenario, it did not. So it is close enough. So I see another signal. I take that trade. I see this .algo max signal here, code red, that says there's a little selling pressure, but it did not break support. I don't need to get out of my position if I was writing this trade. The key to knowing when to exit or enter your position is that price break support or resistance. Then you know to exit your trade. Everything else is a warning to let you know that there's buying pressure or selling pressure. So I enter into my trade. We'll do this here. So look, let's so I'm looking to get into Microsoft. I love Microsoft. I love how those pop-ups come and always want me to update and make demands. Actually, I do love Microsoft. Without Microsoft, I would have never been a developer, most likely, right? They gave me free software so I could learn. Shout out to Microsoft. Microsoft.net. Okay, so I don't own any Microsoft stock though. Okay, so this stock has really moved since the last time I looked at it years ago. I noticed it was kind of stuck in a box, and it was a breakout and ran. I noticed here. This thing looked like it moved $30. Last I saw it was about 60. Enough of that. Okay, so I want to get into this trade. I'm trying to find a trade. Okay, let's do that. I'm trying to find a trade. I see we got a pivot point here, so I know there's buying pressure down here. And so I'm thinking in this range of this 50% retracement, that's support. Okay? Every time it go to support or a little bit below, it bounces. So I'm looking for an opportunity to get into this position. Let's remove some of this. Pretend there's no signals here. So let's forward. And I see it's on support, but it may not be support anymore. So I just want a little bit more confirmation. Okay, we got a green dot. That green dot will actually appear before that candle is created once it detects enough buying pressure. So let's say the candle went to what? 89. So I take that trade. So let's see what happens in the future. So now I see my flag. See, that flag was warning the trader that that's a major resistance level here. So what price point is near it? 92.53. Now the pivot came and said, hey, to the trader again, warning the trader again, hey, if you're long, you may want to tighten your stop or watch your position. You may want to exit your position just in case this thing pull back. The third warning, the red dot, code red, .algo max, code 3, warning the trader there's selling pressure here. So we see that price actually pulled back to support here. As a trader, if you're a long swing or whatever, it didn't break support yet. As a swing trader, as a day trader, you should have been out of that position if this was, let's say, an intraday chart. Okay, so let's see what happens, because a day trader could just buy the support and go right back in. Okay, different type of strategies for different type of traders. Okay, so now the swing trader didn't get out because it didn't break support. Day trader got out, and they probably got back in when they or they're still on the sideline. So now we know what this means. This pivot point came down, and I discussed that in the webinar. A step down pivot. So that means that a accumulation zone is going to be created in the future. It's not created yet, but it will be created. And what does that mean? Price is going to chop in a box. We know accumulation distribution zones. In this scenario, if it's a step down pivot, it's accumulation. So they got to create the box, so they create the distribution, and then they start the accumulation. Okay? That's normally midway in that box. Alright. Then we'll see that box being created. And we can see they created the top now. So now we kind of midway, so now we could see that that's probably the bottom of that box. For more details on this, please look at the other video. This is a little bit more advanced. So we're starting to get a box here. And you see prices kind of staying in that box. As price moved, we could see the flag came. So this, let's say you didn't know anything about support and resistance. Let's remove everything. You didn't know how to draw it or anything. So the indicators are constantly telling you, oh, you've reached support. Oh, you've reached resistance. Oh, this is a major resistance area. Price must break out. You know you got to break out, right? Oh, we got a little resistance here. Warning, right? Selling pressure. Selling pressure. So the MSP indicators are constantly telling you where the buyers or sellers are, or where major resistance or support is. Here it's saying major support. Candle looks quite ugly. Who's supposed to know that that is gonna be support? Just looking at the chart, it looks rather bearish. Most traders probably thinking it's gonna pull back to what they think is support. But price like to find new support or old support. Now it may want to stop here, right? So so now this pivot came here. So that is telling us there's buying pressure. These pivots only display if there's buying or selling pressure. And we know they're major reversal areas. In a nutshell, that's just the basics of trading using the MSP indicators. What they are, how to use them, how to trade, how to use them in conjunction with support and resistance, the best areas to take a trade is near support or resistance, and in a nutshell. We'll go more in depth with this later on. It's just a quick overview of what indicators we have and how to use them. And you use them in conjunction with each other, so we could see that we got green dot that says buying pressure. We see that the short long algo signal, green over red, and we could see we got some momentum, right? If price was going up and this was going down, then that's when you have a divergence. That's how you could tell a divergence. If we got a higher high and a lower low, price is going higher, but this is going down, like how it is up here. See? You could see that the momentum is waning in this area, and then in the future it actually starts to pull back. Here it started saying selling pressure as well. So you could use them in conjunction with each other. So let's do a vertical line and look and see what's happening. I don't like how that thing pops. It has its good and bad. Okay, anyway, so we got our horizontal line here. We can see that everything is in sync. The more things that are in sync, the higher probability that trade is. And this trader is like, is this thing going to drop to resistance? Support. I see my flag. I know this is a danger zone here. I got a warning, but price is still going up. Another flag came out. Oops. Oh, we got a pivot, right? And this changed over, and as this was going up and we hit a higher high, you notice the divergence is going down. Right here. So before this pivot actually came, because it would have came right here. Okay, and then we could see that near 92.45, near the top of this price range, price pulled back. So that trader had plenty of warning that there were obstacles. But sometimes you need more than a chart. So we're going to discuss how to get high probability trades using the indicators and also the MSP ALGO artificial intelligence analytics. Until then, happy trading.